Yo, what's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? And welcome back to yet another video here on the channel, man. And for today's video, we do have yet another action figure review. And for today's action figure review, man, we do have the Target exclusive Elite Collection WWE 3-pack, the Piper's Pit, coming with Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, and then Roddy Piper, and then also Cowboy Bob Orton, man. So in today's video, we're going to be unboxing the set, looking at everything you need to know about this set. And at the end of the video, the question that should be answered for you guys is if this set is worth picking up, or even thinking about, you know, making a purchase to get this box set. So that should be the question that is answered for you guys throughout this entire video, but more specifically at the end of the video. So but without further ado, man, before we get anywhere to any video, be sure to help your boy out by liking the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload. Go follow the socials. You can find the links to those in the description of this video. That includes my Instagram account, my X account. Do all that helps me a ton. And now let's get you guys started into today's action figure review. All right, so first things first, we always like to start it off by taking a look at our packaging. So here on the front, man, we're gonna be looking pretty awesome, man. At the top, gonna say Piper's Pit. Gonna get your figure window, and on the around the figure window, it's gonna have like a little bit of like a gold border, and on the sides of that border, it's gonna have like some gold, little like plant designings. That's kind of what these remind me of here on the sides. You get them on both sides. Down below, it's gonna obviously have their names that we looked at earlier. Here on the side, gonna say True Effects Like Details, and it's gonna have the Elite Collection logo, and it's also gonna have a little logo up there. Don't really know what that logo is, to be completely honest, though. Right there, it's also going to have yet another logo once again with some nice like flannel designing on the entire top of the box, which looks very awesome. And then here on this side, you also are going to be getting the Elite Collection logo with more of that flannel designing as well. And then the other side also going to have more of that flannel designing up at the top with the WWE logo, and then a nice shot of all the superstars and all the figures that you are going to be getting in this box set, along with an Elite Collection logo there on the bottom. And then also here is the final side, the back of the box, going to be looking very awesome. In the background, going to have a nice shot of all the people that, like I said, you are getting in this box set. And then on like one more layer up, it's going to have like an actual up close, you know, shot of all the people that you are getting in the set. So here, Cowboy Bob Orton in the middle, going to be Roddy Piper. Then on the other side, going to be the wonderful Paul Orndorff. Going to be looking very awesome there, and it's going to have a description right here. So if you guys want to go ahead and pause and read up on that, you can, because I will not be reading that. You also are down below. You are going to be getting a WWE logo, Elite Collection logo, more another logo right there, and the Mattel logo as well. Certified authentic sticker as well at the top left, so that's looking very awesome. But man, that is going to be it for our packaging, man. So now it is time to freaking open this thing. Alright, so obviously this box set is coming with 3 figures, so we will go on down the line one at a time, starting it off with Cowboy Bob Orton, and starting it off with his accessories. Starting off, his interchangeable hands he is going to be getting a pair of fisted hands, so that is pretty cool. He also is going to be getting a pair of mic holding hands, but those are already on the figure, so we'll look at those just a bit later. Then he is also going to be getting a cloth goods shirt. And of course, on the shirt, it is going to be saying Saturday Night's Main Event. Going to be looking very awesome. Going to be, like I said, cloth goods along with Velcro. So you can just, obviously, you know, take it off just like that and then place it back on very easily. So shouldn't have too much, you know, struggle taking this shirt on and off, because it is going to be Velcro. So very awesome shirt here. Also, like I mentioned, going to be cloth goods. So that's really cool as well. Really awesome shirt, man. Going to be looking very awesome. He also is going to be getting 2 different hats. So for this one, he is going to be getting, you know, just kind of like a black base with like a little bit of a gold ring or gold little band around it, which is looking very awesome. Really like this hat. Probably my favorite hat that Cowboy Bob Orton is coming with in this set. Definitely just looks the coolest. Kind of gives me like jungle vibes or like Indiana Jones style of vibes. I think this hat just looks very awesome overall. But he also is going to be getting a pink hat as well, so that's pretty cool as well. Gonna overall just it's gonna be a different mold compared to this one. This one's gonna be a lot bigger, like an actual cowboy style hat. I would say this, like I said, this is kind of more. I mean, it is definitely a cowboy style of hat, just definitely reminds me more of like an Indiana Jones style of hat, to be honest. But this one, the point is, definitely gonna be bigger for sure. It's gonna be pink, and as far as like a little bit of a line, it's gonna have like a white little band going all the way around the base. So that's really cool. Overall, solid hat there. We will see how these hats fit on the figure later on. But that is going to be it for Cowboy Bob Orton's accessories. So now let's jump into the actual Cowboy Bob Orton figure. Alright, man, so here is the actual Cowboy Bob Orton figure in all of its glory, man. So starting off with the head scan as far as likeness to Cowboy Bob Orton from this time period, I would say it definitely looks like him for sure. Very nice little solid head scan. Definitely very accurate. I feel like if you do look at this head scan compared to what's actually on like the box, the Piper's Pit box, I will say there could be a little bit of like minor changes that they could make to make it look even better for sure. But overall, I would say that this is a solid head scan. Definitely, I feel like you can definitely tell if you know of Cowboy Bob Orton, you know what he looks like, and you look at this head scan, I would definitely say that you would be able to like tell that is obviously Cowboy Bob Orton. So I would say it's a solid head scan overall. And then as far as head articulation, you will be getting a full 360 on the entire head, so that's really awesome. And at no point when you do a full 360 is it going to be a stiff. So very solid head articulation there. You can look up a little bit like that, and then look down a little bit like that as well. So overall, pretty solid head articulation. Nothing super crazy, but also at least you are getting some head articulation. Moving on to the arms, man. Of course you are going to be getting your double jointed elbow, so that's really cool. And then you also are going to be getting your bicep cup. So that's also really awesome. And then of course you are going to be getting a full all the way around with the entire arm as well, so really awesome there. Going on to the other arm, the left arm of Cowboy Bob Orton is going to be coming with like a little like white arms, like little forearm white sleeve, so that's pretty cool. Going to be looking very awesome. I don't know if you can take this off. I feel like you probably could just take off the interchangeable hand, of course, and then just take it off. But obviously that's really only if you just don't like that accessory for whatever reason. But again, on this arm as well, going to be getting your double jointed elbow, so that's really awesome. Going to be getting your bicep cut as well. And then, of course, you are going to be getting your full all the way around with the entire arm as well. So that is going to be working very awesome. I will say, though, for mine specifically, the left arm of Cowboy Bob Orton, so the one that we just looked at, it's going to be sticking out a little bit more than this one. And I guess you can kind of push it in a little bit, but I feel like you can definitely tell that there's a difference from how far this one's sticking out compared to this one. So I don't know if that's for all of them, but, if that's something that you don't like, maybe this isn't like, the figure that you're going to like most from the set, because I personally would prefer it to be like an even arm width apart, but this arm gonna be a bit different for sure. Now going on to the ab crunch, man, this is what the ab crunch is gonna be looking like from the front. There's the back. As far as movement of the ab crunch, go down about that much, go back about that much. Overall, nothing too crazy on the ab crunch, but still gonna be working well. But of course, nothing out of this world, but still pretty solid. It definitely does get the job done. You do the full all the way around 360 with the entire upper body as well. Going on to the lower half of the figure, you are going to be getting the blue jeans with at the top going to be that black belt with a silver belt buckle. Of course, that's gonna be looking very awesome. There's the back and then the front again, so going to be looking very awesome. Going down again, just the standard blue jeans, which obviously does eventually lead us into his black shoes as well, so that's very cool. And then moving on to the articulation on these legs, you can kick out about this much. Going to be working pretty solidly right there. And then obviously you are going to be getting your upper thigh cut as well, which also is going to be working very, very nicely as well, so that's really cool. Going on to the knee articulation, the knees themselves are going to be a little bit stiff, I will say, but I feel like this is the kind of stiffness that you can definitely wear in over time. So obviously what that means is like the more you articulate with this figure, the more you actually set it up for maybe action figure moves. I feel like this is the kind of stiffness that could be worn in, but it does suck that it is stiff for sure. You don't really like when action figure knees are stiff. You want every part of the figure to be working very well, and I will say for sure these knees are definitely stiff. There's no denying that whatsoever. Going back, and you can also bend them back this way, but once again still going to be stiff going that way as well. But like I said, this to me does feel like the stiffness that if you just play with the figure, you articulate with it, you can definitely fix that for sure. That's kind of the vibes that I get from these knees for sure. And then obviously going on to the boots, you will be getting a little bit of swivel in the shoe, but nothing too crazy because those jeans will be blocking most of it. But that is going to be it, man, for the articulation on this Cowboy Bob Orton. So now let's jump into another figure. Alright, and now jumping into Paul Orndorff and starting it off with his accessories, he is going to be getting two pairs of interchangeable hands, much like Cowboy Bob Orton. He's going to be getting mic holding hands. So here's the mic holding hands now, and he also is going to be getting a pair of fisted hands, but those are already on the figure, so we'll look at those a bit later. Pretty much it's literally just this, but more closed, of course. We've seen what with what obviously fisted hands look like. So nothing really crazy there, but you know, still solid. And then you also are going to be getting a cloth goods shirt that is coming with Paul Orndorff as well. Going to be just our standard WrestleMania shirt, and I actually don't know which WrestleMania that this logo is, you know, actually like which WrestleMania number it is. I don't know. I can't really remember off the top of my head. In fact, how would I remember? Because this is like obviously I was born way past this for sure. I can just tell that this is of course an older logo for sure. So if you guys know which WrestleMania this is, leave that down in the comments below, because I right now at this point in time do not know at the time that I'm recording this. Like I said, going to be cloth goods, going to be Velcro, so that's really awesome. So you shouldn't have too much problems taking it on and off the figure. And that's really going to be it for Paul Orndorff's accessories, man. So now let's jump into the actual figure. Alright, so here is the actual Paul Orndorff figure in all of its glory, man. Starting it off with the head scan as far as likeness. Definitely going to be a very majestic head scan, I will say, man. I mean, look at the freaking jawline on this motherfucker, man. Looking absolutely crazy. But as far as likeness, man, going to be looking very accurate to, of course, Paul Orndorff himself. I think it looks very accurate, you know, really nothing too crazy that throws it off to make it like not look like Paul Orndorff. So very solid head scan as far as likeness. As far as head articulation, you are going to be getting a full 360 all the way around. You can look up about that much. That's actually really solid. Holy. As far as looking up, very solid for sure. Looking down, not going to be the greatest because that freaking jawline definitely going to get in the way. You can tell it touches the neck and you really can't go down much more. But as far as looking up, man, that's working very well in my opinion, I will say for sure. So that is very awesome to see. Going on now to the arms, man. On both sides of the arms, you are going to be getting white wrist tape, so that's pretty cool. As far as articulation, you are of course going to be getting your double jointed elbows because it is of course an elite figure. You also are going to be getting your bicep cut as well, so that's really awesome to see. And then you are going to be getting a full all the way around with the entire arm as well. Moving on to this one, once again, double jointed bicep cup, of course, right there. And then of course you are going to be getting your full all the way around with the entire arms as well. So once again, very awesome. So yeah, those arms going to be working very well. Going on to the ab crunch, that's what it's going to be looking like from the front. That's what it's going to be looking like from the back. And then you can go down about that much, which is actually very solid. Holy, solid ab crunch so far. And you can go back about that much. Definitely a very awesome ab crunch. Going to be working very well in my opinion. So that is really awesome to see. And then going to be getting a full all the way around rotation with the entire upper body as well. So that is very awesome. All right, and now moving on to the lower half of the figure, we are going to be getting obviously his white tights, and then on the back of those it is going to be saying Mr. Number 1, and I do not know what this word says right here. I see a D-E-N-L-U-L. I really don't know what that means. So if you guys know, leave it down in the comments below. Maybe I also probably spelled it wrong because this looks like it's in cursive, and I don't really read cursive that well. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys what that says, but I right now do not currently know. But still cool. You're getting a design on the back. Going down. Going to be getting your white knee pads. There's, you know, nothing really crazy going on there, but still cool. Then moving on, you're going to be getting your boots and with a white and red designing with the white shoelaces. So that's really awesome. Very solid. As far as articulation, going to be getting your upper thigh cut, which is going to be working very nicely. There's that leg as well. You are going to also be getting a full kick out, of course, as well. So that is really awesome to see. You can also do the splits, of course, as well. So really solid leg articulation so far. Going on to the knees. The knees also going to be working very well. I would have figured they would be more stiff, and of course I only do say that because of the knee pads, but still the knees are going to be actually working very well in my opinion. You can also bend them back this way as well, which is also going to be working very nicely once again. So very solid articulation here on these knees, man. Also just overall going to be working very nicely. Going on to the boots and shoes, you are going to be getting a little bit of swivel in the boot, so that's also very awesome, and you're going to be getting that on both sides. You can also move the entire boot all the way around, of course, as well, so that is also very awesome, man. Very solid articulation there. And yeah, that's really going to be it for the articulation as far as this Paul Orndorff figure goes. So now let's move on to Rowdy Roddy Piper. Alright, so now the last and final figure, it is going to be Rowdy Roddy Piper, and starting it off with his accessories, starting off with the interchangeable hands, he is going to be getting a set of one-planar hands, so that's pretty cool, and he also is going to be getting some mic holding hands as well, but those are already on the figure, so we'll look at those a bit later. Also are going to be getting this WWE mic as well with the old WWE logo, so that's also very awesome, going to be looking very nice here. I know this came for sure with the with the WrestleMania Build-A-Figure Howard Finkel that we did get, I believe, it was last year, so that was pretty cool. But you know, here it is again. I don't really remember obviously the first time we got this, but you know, the point is, it's still cool that we are getting that mic. Very awesome there with the old WWE logo, so that's pretty cool. Roddy Piper also going to be coming with 2 sets of cloth goods. Here is the cloth goods shirt, going to be looking very awesome. Of course, the neck and arm, and I mean the arm sleeve area, they're going to have some red highlights. The rest of the shirt going to be white. There's the back, going to be Velcro, and then on the front going to say Hot Rod with an exclamation point and some nice little designing and coloring. So that's very solid. Really liking this shirt as well. Like I said, going to be cloth goods, going to be Velcro, so should be once again very easy to take on and off the figure. And then overall, nice shirt there. Also are going to be getting the cloth goods kilt, or I think that, yeah, this is definitely a kilt for sure. Going to be looking very awesome. Going to have some red designing with some white lines that are going to make like individual boxes and like box designing on the entire kilt. So that's really awesome. You also are going to be getting these little flaps here. These are just there for, you know, obviously looks, but you can, you know, tug on them just to release the Velcro, because that's how you obviously, you know, take it on and off the figure. So that's pretty cool, man. Very nice that we are getting this in Velcro, of course, as well. So yeah, very solid there. And then he also is going to be getting this little belt thing right here, which is pretty much just going to it's basically what this is going to do is it's going to hold the kilt a lot nicer to tug on the actual figure itself. So that's really cool. So you just clip it on just like I did have, but it, you know, came undone. So there you go. You just pop it in there like that. It's going to be a black belt with a little bit of a silver belt buckle. So that's really cool. But that is really going to be it for Roddy Piper's accessories. So now let's jump into the actual figure. Alright, man, so here is the Roddy Piper figure in all of its glory, starting it off with the head scan. As far as accuracy to Roddy Piper himself, definitely going to be looking very accurate in my opinion, so very solid head scan. There's the hair. As far as head articulation, going to be getting a full 360, going to be very freaking smooth. You can look up a little bit, but I mean, really nothing super crazy, so nothing too crazy on the head, really at all. You know, the Paul Orndorff definitely had a way better head articulation for sure, compared to, you know, even Cowboy Bob Orton as well. But now going on to the arms, he is going to be getting on both sides, much like Paul Orndorff did. He is going to be getting some white wrist tape, so that's really cool. Going to be getting his double jointed elbows as well. So, and then he also is going to be getting the bicep cup as well, as you can see there. So that's really awesome. And then moving on, he is going to be getting a full 360 on the entire arm as well. So that's really cool. Going on to this one, double jointed elbows again, and then also the bicep cup once again. Going on again, full 360 with the entire arm. So very solid arm articulation in my opinion. And now moving on to the ab crunch area, that's what it's going to be looking like from the front. There's the back. As far as articulation, you can go down about that much, go back about that much. So overall, nothing too crazy on this ab crunch. Definitely Paul Orndorff had a way better, movement, but still, this one's still going to be getting the job done. Not going to be stiff, going to be working well still overall. So that's really awesome. And then you also are going to be getting a full all the way around the entire with the entire upper body. So that is really cool to see. Going on to the lower half of this figure, going to be getting the blue tights, no designing on them, just standard blue. Going down, you're going to get his blue knee pads, with this one going to be a little bit loose here on the left. It's not going to, fit as tight as this one here is, which honestly, to me, this one overall just looks bigger than this one. Maybe I'm just tripping. Going on down, you're going to you can see a little bit of the sock sticking out of the boot, going to have like a white and, blue stripe designing, so that's really cool. And then obviously it's going to say RP for Roddy Piper right there. And then it's also going to have the same designing here on this boot as well. So very solid as far as this articulation on these legs. Going to be getting your upper thigh cut, so that's really awesome. Going to be working very well in my opinion. So that's really freaking amazing. Let's go ahead and pop that back in there. There we go. You also are going to be getting a full kick out, so that's really awesome to see as well. Push that back in there. And now moving on to the knees, you are obviously going to be getting your double jointed knees. These knees going to be working very well, as probably like the best working knees in this box set for sure. Paul Orndorff's are also really good, but I think Roddy Piper definitely takes the cake, man. He has very, very smooth articulation on his knees going that way as well, man. So really solid articulation here on these knees for this Roddy Piper. Overall going to be working very awesome. Going down to the boots, you are going to be getting you can move the boot entirely all the way around, as you see there. So that's really cool. And as far as the actual shoe, the boot itself, as far as the shoe goes, you can get a full, you can get like some rotation, ankle pivot there. So that's really awesome, man. But that is going to be it for this Roddy Piper figure, man. So now let's put all the accessories back on every one of these figures and get a final good look and rating on this box set. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, and here is the final look and setup of this Piper's Pit 3-pack. So, one thing to note is you are going to be getting a very awesome backdrop with this 3-pack. So, it is going to be plastic. It's not going to be like paper. So, it's going to be a pretty cool little backdrop. Going to have Roddy Piper there. Going to have some logos there. And then, obviously, another shot of Roddy Piper right there. You also are going to be getting this little desk thing as well, which the top can pop off just like that. Like, the top pretty much just sits on there like this. There really is no, like, clip to it, so pretty cool there. But that is the set, man. As far as if this 3-pack is worth it, I would say yeah, but it really just depends on if you really want it, because it's really not the most hyped up 3-pack of all time. It is cool, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, it's like there's a lot of better 3-packs just as far as how well known the superstars that are in the 3-pack really are. Because I mean, I would argue that today's day, I mean, these superstars, yes, are noted, but not as much as maybe, some others are. Like, just the point is, this 3-pack is definitely worth it for sure, but I would say it's really up to if you really want this in your collection, or these superstars and you want them, That's what I really think it comes down to, but overall, I would say it's a pretty worth it set, man. But as always, if you do have any questions about this set, be sure to leave them in the comments below. As always, before we get out of here, be sure to help your boy out by liking the video, subscribe to the channel, and start post notifications so you're missing upload. Go follow the socials. You can find the links to those in the description of this video. That includes my Instagram account, my X account, and all that helps me a ton. I'll catch y'all boys in the next one. Peace.